Welcome to the All About English podcast. I'm James.
And I'm Grace. This is the place to grow your English skills, no matter what level.
Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so you never miss an episode. We post daily. You don't want to miss out.
All right, let's talk about rest, but not in that cheesy, fake self-care kind of way. Real rest. Deep, intentional, mind-altering rest.
Yeah, because if I hear one more person call rest lazy, I might just flip.
Right? Like somewhere along the way, we got this idea that if you stop moving for a second, you're falling behind. It's straight up toxic.
And so many people I know, including myself, by the way, end up resting the wrong way. It's like we trick ourselves into thinking we're recharging when really we're not.
I know what you mean. Okay, spill the beans. What do you mean by the wrong way?
All right, so let me give you a recent example. Last Friday, I'd had an exhausting week. You know the type where your brain feels like a fried hard drive. So I thought, I'll chill out with a binge watch session. Like a little escapism, right?
Classic move.
But here's the kicker. I spent hours glued to the couch, scrolling through my phone at the same time, barely even watching what was on. And by the end of it, I was even more drained. Like my brain was just mush.
Ugh, that's so relatable. It's like the zombie apocalypse, but self-inflicted.
Exactly, and looking back, that wasn't rest. That was numbing out, like shutting off without actually recharging.
Oh, for sure. It's so common though. Everyone does it. And we legit think that's rest. But like you said, it's not. It's more like just hitting pause on the chaos instead of stepping away from it altogether.
Right. Real rest, the kind that actually makes you dangerous again, it's...
Whoa, dangerous? I love that. Elaborate. Like, where are we going with this?
Well, I mean, real rest isn't just downtime. It's actually restoring yourself so that you can show up ready to handle whatever life throws at you. It's, sharpening the axe so you're not hacking away at life with a dull blade.
Okay, I'm loving this metaphor. Because no one's going to argue with a sharp axe, right? But seriously, real rest, not making you weak, it makes so much sense, and yet we totally ignore it.
Yeah, it's like we're afraid to acknowledge that we're human, limited. But learning to rest, it's not some kind of weakness. It's honestly wisdom.
Yep, and it's the kind of wisdom we're all gonna need, especially when we start talking about how things like presence and peace play into this whole sharpening your axe idea. Okay, so sharpening the axe sounds great in theory, but let's talk about what that actually looks like. Specifically, how presence and peace fit into it. Because we know rest matters, but how do we make it real?
Yeah, and it's not just about looking like you're resting, I mean, presence is a big part of it, actually being there in the moment.
Totally. I mean, think about how rare it is for people to just be with their thoughts. No phone, no distractions, no, gotta check one more thing. Just kinda being present. That, right there, hits different.
It really does. And speaking of presence, one of the best examples of meaningful rest is something as simple as a silent walk. No music, no podcasts, just silence. You let your brain breathe a bit.
Okay, yes, but let me paint a picture for you. Imagine sitting down at the end of the day, turning off your phone, maybe lighting a candle, not for the aesthetic, but just to sit. No screens, no inputs, just being there. That's low-key revolutionary.
Exactly. It's small things like that, a screen-free evening, or even just having a meal without the TV blaring, that recharge us in ways we tend to forget we need.
And it's so wild, because it feels so counterintuitive. Like, how is doing nothing actually doing something for my mental state?
But it is. It's like taking the time to declutter your mind. And that's when presence kicks in. You tune into yourself instead of just tuning out the noise.
All right, I gotta share this story. It's literally my favorite way to explain why this matters. Ever heard of the woodcutter and the old lumberjack?
Oh yeah, the one where the young guy works his tail off chopping wood all day and totally loses to the old guy who kept taking breaks?
Yes, that's the one. So the young guy is like, how'd you beat me? I worked nonstop. And the old guy is just sitting there calmly like, well, I sharpened my axe every time I rested.
And that's such a great metaphor for real rest. It's not just about sitting there, it's about sharpening yourself. Getting ready to tackle life with clarity and energy instead of just grinding away with a dull blade.
Exactly. Real rest isn't just chilling, it's making yourself capable again. And that's where presence ties in for me. It's this active form of recharging. Peace isn't passive, it's powerful. So, if sharpening the axe is the goal, how does that actually look in our day-to-day lives? How do we find real rest, especially in ways that don't require exotic getaways or lavish retreats that most of us can't realistically afford?
Right? And honestly, rest doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it's as simple as setting boundaries.
Oh, totally. Like just saying, no, I'm not going to overcommit to that thing instead of trying to be everything to everyone.
Exactly. I was terrible at this for the longest time. I'd want to, help everybody, be the go-to guy, but then I realized,
You can't pour from an empty cup?
right. I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's true. Protecting your energy is a game changer.
Absolutely. And for me, one of the biggest things is knowing when to step away, like saying, I'm not available for this right now, with zero guilt.
Oh, for sure. No explanation, no overthinking. Just a clean, confident no. I gotta ask though, what's your go-to when you need to rest and reset?
Honestly, a walk. Like, no podcasts, no music. Just me and, well, the world being the world. It's kind of magical when you stop and let yourself tune in.
That's a good one. For me, it's carving out time to read, not for work or self-improvement or any of that, but just for fun. It slows me down in a way nothing else does.
I love that. And it reminds me, we need to talk about how even micro rests can be powerful. Like, you don't need an hour. Sometimes 15 minutes can reset everything.
Exactly. Even those tiny pauses add up. It's all about finding moments that bring you back to yourself.
So, we've touched on some powerful ideas about rest, like those micro moments and intentional pauses. But before we dive deeper, let's highlight some big takeaways and, of course, throw in a little vocabulary along the way.
Sprinkle away, Grace. Summarizing sounds good, especially when the words are packed with power.
All right, first up, obviously, we talked about rest not being laziness. It's restoration, like deep, meaningful restoration. And I guess a vocab word there could be rejuvenation.
Absolutely. Rejuvenation, for those wondering, means bringing something, like yourself, back to life or energy. Think of it like charging your inner battery. Same concept applies with rest.
Exactly. And then there's the idea of being present. Really here and not scattered. Oh, mindfulness fits that perfectly.
Yes, mindfulness is all about focus and being aware of the moment. A mindfulness practice can be as simple as a deep breath or just sitting quietly for a few minutes.
Love that. Okay, another good one. Boundaries. Like protecting your time and energy by saying no when you need to.
Boundaries are so important. And for anyone scratching their head, boundaries mean setting limits to protect your well-being. But it takes practice, honestly. A lot of us struggle there.
Totally. And since we're on this topic, let me throw in burnout. Classic vocab word for anyone who's felt overworked and overwhelmed. It's what happens when you just push too hard without any rest.
Great one. Burnout means exhaustion, mentally, physically, and emotionally, from overextending yourself. It's something everyone should learn to spot and avoid.
All right, moving on. Let's not forget sedation. Like when we think we're resting, but we're actually just zoning out, numbing ourselves.
Sedation is such a key concept here. It's when we mistake mindless distractions for real rest. Pinging between apps while we're exhausted, that's sedation, not rejuvenation.
Preach. And I gotta throw this one in. Intentionality, as in being purposeful with how we rest instead of just hoping it magically works out.
Definitely. Intentionality means doing things deliberately, like choosing to turn your phone off or go for a walk because you know it restores your energy. It's proactive, not reactive.
Such a good word. All right, two more. One is resilience. Rest builds it. It's like when you rest intentionally, you're better at bouncing back when life throws you curveballs.
Resilience is all about flexibility and strength. It means you can recover from difficulties because you've recharged yourself to handle them. And rest is part of that cycle.
Last one, are you ready? Sustainability. Because you can't sprint forever, rest doesn't just help you today, it keeps you going long term. Love that word.
Sustainability ties everything together. It's about creating habits, like rest, that keep you thriving over time rather than burning out in the short term.
All right, so quick scorecard: rejuvenation, mindfulness, boundaries, burnout, sedation, intentionality, resilience, sustainability. Okay, 8 down. Wait, let's not skip peace. It's crucial.
Agreed. Peace is the calm that comes from true rest. It's not about the absence of chaos, it's the presence of clarity.
And 10, let's go with focus. Because real rest helps you show up with a laser-sharp mind instead of that foggy, half-there kind of vibe.
Focus is perfect. It's what happens when rest resets your ability to prioritize and think clearly. And on that note, 10 words, main takeaways, nailed it.
Wow, we really covered a lot. Rejuvenation, mindfulness, boundaries, all those incredible ways to rest intentionally. Thank you so much for tuning in today and hanging out with us.
Seriously, we appreciate you taking the time to listen. It means the world to us.
If you enjoyed this episode and found it helpful, don't forget to subscribe. Just hit that little button and maybe even the bell so you'll never miss an episode.
And hey, we've got a free downloadable study guide waiting for you in the description. It's packed with all the points we covered today, plus a few extras for you to dive into on your own.
Oh, and we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and let us know what you learned or how you plan to rest better. Seriously, we read every single one.
And if this episode made you think of someone, a friend, a coworker, anyone who might need a reminder to slow down, go ahead and send it their way. Sharing's caring, right?
All right, that's all for today. Rest well, stay sharp, and we'll catch you next time.
Take care, everyone.